Have you ever longed for something so deeply that it almost felt like it would never arrive? You prayed, you fasted, you stood in faith, yet nothing seemed to shift. You watched others celebrate their answers, watched them step into blessings you've been crying out for, while you stayed behind closed doors wondering if heaven even remembered you existed. Still, somehow you refused to let go, even when tears stained your pillow, even when fear shouted louder than faith. Something within you kept you from quitting. That something was hope, fragile but unshakable. And I need you to know, what's been delayed is about to unfold, and when it does, it will move you to tears. There's always a point in the journey where it seems like God is running behind schedule, where it feels as if He missed the moment to step in. You may have thought, He should have done it by now. He should have spoken by now. But what if I told you He's been right on time all along? What if the silence wasn't abandonment, but careful orchestration? Even in the seasons where your heart was breaking, He was preparing a miracle so astonishing that it will leave you speechless. God does not operate by human clocks. He sees the beginning and the ending simultaneously. He knows exactly what you need, when you need it, and who you need to become before you can carry it. That is why waiting often feels so heavy. It presses, it stretches, it tests you. But the waiting season is not wasted time. It is the classroom where character is built. It is not God saying no. It is God saying, not yet. I'm preparing something greater. What feels like a delay is often protection. He is not keeping something from you. He is keeping it for you. He's making sure the gift you've prayed for doesn't destroy you before you're ready to hold it. If He had given you what you wanted last year, would you have been able to handle it without losing yourself? Would it have humbled you or puffed up your pride? Would it have blessed others or distracted you from the purpose He designed for your life? He knows. Consider the story of Lazarus. He had been dead 4 days before Jesus came to the tomb. To the crowd, it looked too late. It looked hopeless. But Jesus had not missed the moment. He was setting the stage for a miracle no one could deny. Anyone could have healed a sick man, but only the Son of God could bring life from the grave. And when God seems late in your life, it's often because He's about to do something so extraordinary that no one will be able to give the credit to anyone but Him. He's about to break every expectation. What's coming will make it undeniably clear that it wasn't luck, coincidence, or human strength. It was grace, pure and unstoppable. And when that moment comes, it will make you weep. Not from pain this time, but from gratitude so overwhelming that it will drop you to your knees. Suddenly, all the nights you cried yourself to sleep, all the prayers that felt like they bounced off the ceiling, all the closed doors and painful goodbyes will make sense. You'll see how every detour was a setup for destiny. You'll realize the job that fell through, the friendship that ended, the plan that failed. It was all working together for your good. Sometimes God holds back what is visible so He can do something invisible in you. He is more committed to developing your character than to making you comfortable. Because if you receive a blessing before you are mature enough to hold it, it might slip through your hands. But when you've been refined through the fire of waiting, you emerge not just with an answered prayer, but with the wisdom and spiritual stamina to steward it well. You don't just become a person who witnesses miracles. You become a living testimony that inspires miracles in others. Maybe you are in a season right now where nothing makes sense. You've done everything you know to do. You've given, you've obeyed, you've prayed until you ran out of words, and still there is no sign of change. Hear me, you are closer than you think. The darkest night is always right before sunrise. God is not sitting on His hands. He is not turning away from you. He is working, and His silence is strategy, not absence, because when He moves suddenly. Look at Joseph. He was given a dream as a boy, but was betrayed, sold as a slave, falsely accused, and left in prison for years. To anyone watching, it looked like the dream had died. But in one single day, Joseph went from prisoner to prince. One divine appointment turned his entire life around. What if your moment is just ahead? What if your name is already being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet? What if the answer you've been praying for is already being prepared behind the scenes? God's timing will make you cry, but this time from joy. You will see that God never forgot you, that every prayer, every act of obedience, every unseen sacrifice was seen and recorded. None of it was wasted. Heaven was watching, and heaven has heard. The world shouts at us to hustle harder, push doors open, make it happen at any cost. But God calls us to rest, to trust that His timing is infinitely better than our deadlines. Faith is not believing what you can already see. It is trusting the one who sees what you cannot. I am here to remind you the story is not over. This is not the end. Do not give up. Do not settle for less than what God has promised. Do not fold under the pressure. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be for the miracle He has prepared. And when it comes, it will be worth every tear, every setback, every season of waiting. Scripture tells us, though it lingers, wait for it will certainly come. That means if God spoke it, it is guaranteed to happen. Not maybe, not possibly, certainly. You do not need to manipulate your way into it. You do not need to chase down what God has already assigned to you. When it is time, it will find you. Favor will follow you. Opportunities will align. People will be drawn to help you without knowing why. What God has purposed cannot be blocked by any man, delay, or circumstance. So take courage, lift your chin. Wipe the tears from your face. Heaven has taken note of your faithfulness. Your prayers have been heard. Your waiting has been seen. And when the answer arrives, you won't just smile. You will weep in awe. You will cry because you will finally understand why it had to take this long, why it had to be this way, why it had to hurt first. You will cry because the blessing will be so much greater than what you asked for. It will be tailor-made, perfect in every detail. And the beauty of it all, you will not just receive it, you will radiate His goodness through it. Your breakthrough will inspire others to believe again. Your testimony will keep someone else from giving up. Your tears will water someone else's faith. That is the wonder of divine timing. It is never just about you. It is about the lives that will be impacted by your story. So let me say it again. God's timing will move you to tears, not because of how long you waited, but because of how perfectly it comes together, because He exceeded your expectations, because He never abandoned you, because He wrote a story more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. And when it unfolds, all you will be able to whisper is, only God could have done this. Keep preparing, keep believing, keep holding on. The suddenly you've been praying for is closer than you think. And when it happens, it will all make sense. You will cry, but this time from joy. What was He busy doing in those hidden years? He was learning how to bow low before God, learning the weight of leadership, and fighting quiet battles long before anyone ever saw Him face a public enemy. Had the Lord placed the crown on His head too quickly, the responsibility would have crushed Him under its weight. But when the appointed time arrived, David had been refined like gold in the furnace. He had been shaped for that exact moment. The very God who made the promise was also shaping him to carry it with strength, forming his character with intentional precision so that when the promotion came, he wouldn't collapse under its pressure. You won't simply show up at the destination. You will thrive there because you will understand what it cost you to get there. You will value the process that got you ready. You will carry the blessing with humility and reverence, not pride. You will be a vessel through which God is glorified, not someone who uses the blessing for selfish ambition. So if you find yourself in a waiting season, resist the urge to run ahead. Don't escape what God is working into your heart. Let Him shape you. Let Him stretch you. Let Him teach you trust even when it feels painful. Every hidden moment where you feel overlooked is a moment God is chiseling something deep inside you. Every time you wonder if you've been forgotten, He is laying groundwork for something brand new. Waiting may feel exhausting and endless, but it is never wasted. It is holy space where you are being prepared not only for the answer you have prayed for, but for the responsibility that will come along with it. And when the fulfillment arrives, you will hold it with strength, with wisdom, and with faith. You will carry it as someone who has been forged in the fire, not as someone who stumbled into an unearned gift. The weight of waiting is shaping you to carry the weight of the promise, and it will all be worth it. When God decides to act, He often does it in a moment. That reality is both comforting and perplexing when you've been walking through a long, quiet season. You might glance around and wonder why nothing is moving, why the heavens seem silent, why every prayer feels like it bounces back unheard. It can be disheartening to wake up day after day feeling stuck in the same place with no visible progress. But just because you don't see movement doesn't mean there isn't any. God is always working, even in stillness, even in silence. And when the moment comes, when His perfect timing arrives, the shift will be so swift, so powerful, so unmistakable that years of questions will make sense in an instant. One of the clearest demonstrations of God's sudden action is found in Joseph's story. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison, nothing about his circumstances suggested he was any closer to the dream God gave him as a boy. In fact, every step seemed to drag him further away. He had every reason to assume the dream was dead. But in a single day, everything changed. He woke up behind bars and went to bed in the palace. God had been weaving everything together. Pharaoh's dreams, the famine, the need for a wise leader. And when the time was right, Joseph was summoned. There was no time to prepare a speech, no time to rehearse a strategy. The promotion happened in a moment, and Joseph was ready, not because he had time to get ready that morning, but because God had been getting him ready for years. That is how God operates. We think He is slow, but He is precise. He is arranging details, aligning circumstances, preparing people. His plans are higher and more intricate than what we can imagine. While we are staring at what feels like delay, He is orchestrating destiny, and when He turns the page, everything can change in a heartbeat. Picture the Israelites trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army. To human logic, there was no way forward and no way back. But in a single divine act, God split the sea. The impossible became the path of deliverance. This is what happens when God moves. He does not require time to brainstorm solutions or gather resources. He does not need permission. When He speaks, creation obeys. One breath, one word, one command from Him can shift everything. That is why staying faithful during the waiting season is so crucial. Because when the breakthrough comes, it comes fast. There won't be time to go back and build the character you lacked, the discipline you needed, the trust you should have learned. God builds all of that in the delay so that you can handle the promotion. When the door swings open, things move quickly. A sudden opportunity carries weight, and only someone who has been forged through patient preparation can carry it without falling apart. Sudden does not mean random. It means appointed. It means that while you were going through ordinary days, God was planning extraordinary outcomes. While you were faithfully handling small things, He was orchestrating something big. Breakthroughs often come like that. They interrupt the routine. They arrive in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday, and suddenly life is different. That is why it is dangerous to quit too soon. You never know if today is the day God will move. And remember, when God gives you a sudden breakthrough, it is rarely just for you. When Joseph was elevated to power, it wasn't just so Joseph could be comfortable. It was so that countless lives could be saved. When God shifts your life, it is often because He is positioning you as an answer to someone else's prayer, a channel through which His provision flows. The wait feels long because the purpose is bigger than just your personal relief. It is about kingdom impact. There is a sacred beauty in how God operates. He lets us walk through seasons where we can't see the ending, where faith is our only compass. And then at the exact right time, everything changes. He gives just enough light for the next step, then reveals the full picture in a moment of divine unveiling. And when it happens, it brings awe, clarity, and tears of gratitude. If you've been waiting for what feels like forever, if you are starting to believe nothing is happening, take heart. God has not forgotten you. It is not too late. He is not scrambling in heaven trying to come up with a plan. He already knows the day, the hour, the minute. When the moment comes, you will not have to chase it or force it. It will find you. It will align naturally because God Himself ordained it. So keep showing up. Keep believing. Keep planting seeds of faith. Keep working quietly in the dark, because suddenly is coming. And when it comes, you will understand why the wait stretched so long. You will see that every delay had a purpose. You will realize that the God who felt silent was never still. He was setting up a moment that would shift your life forever. When He moves, it will exceed what you thought possible. It will be more than you asked, bigger than you imagined. Your tears will turn into testimony. Your pain will be turned into purpose. That is the beauty of God's redemption. Pain does not get the last word. Confusion does not write the ending. Loss does not have the final say. Everything you have endured, every sleepless night, every quiet prayer, every whispered, "Why?" has been seen by God. None of it has been meaningless. It may have felt like it broke you, but He will not let it be wasted. God is the only one who can transform tears into something beautiful. He doesn't merely comfort you in the pain. He turns pain into the soil where purpose grows. Life brings seasons where you wonder if anything good can come from what you are walking through. Betrayal, loss, heartbreak, disappointment that knocks the breath out of you. But God is not absent. He sees you. He walks with you through the fire, through the valley. His presence may feel quiet, but it is never far. Sometimes He allows the valley not to destroy you, but to draw something out of you that couldn't have come any other way. Your story will matter to someone one day. Someone will find hope because you were honest about your scars. Someone will be encouraged because you survived. The tears you shed now will become the water that nourishes someone else's breakthrough. In our limited perspective, we see tears as weakness, but in God's kingdom, they are seeds. Seeds of future joy, seeds of transformation. Scripture says those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy, and that is not just poetic imagery, it is a promise. Every tear you've cried has been counted and collected. They are not wasted. And when the time comes, those tears will produce a harvest. You will look back and realize what broke you also built you. What crushed you also refined you. You will speak with authority, not because you read about faith, but because you lived it. There is a powerful testimony in someone who has been through the fire and still lifts their hands to worship. Someone who has walked through suffering and still smiles, not out of pretense, but because God met them in the pain and turned it into a testimony. Your story is not weaker because it contains pain. It carries even more weight because of it. When you allow God to redeem it, when you stop hiding the hurt and start sharing the healing, others will believe they can find freedom too. That is the power of testimony. It multiplies hope. It bridges broken hearts. It invites others to encounter the same God who carried you through your darkest moments. So don't hide your tears. Don't be ashamed of the road you walked. What the enemy planned for harm, God will flip for good. He will take your story, the raw and the painful, and make it a beacon for someone else's night. Your healing will ignite hope. Your survival will become someone else's strength. Your tears will stop symbolizing what you lost and start representing what God restored. There will come a moment when you cry again, not from grief, but from the overwhelming realization of God's faithfulness. You will cry because what once made you doubt God now reveals His goodness. You will cry because you finally see why the nights were long, why the road was hard, why the burden was heavy, and you will realize it was all leading you here. Not to defeat, but to destiny. Not to bitterness, but to blessing. Not to despair, but to purpose. And when you stand there, people will listen. Not simply because of the words you speak, but because of the weight behind them. They will see the light in your eyes, the strength in your voice, and know that only God could have brought you through. That is what a testimony does. It points back to Him, it glorifies Him, and it gives courage to those still waiting. So if you are in a season of tears right now, keep going. Do not lose heart. God is not done. Your tears are not the conclusion. They are the seeds of something breathtaking. They are being turned into stories that will encourage, strengthen, and bring life. You will feel joy again and laughter will return to you. When it does, it will be deeper, more genuine, and richer than before because you will understand what it cost to get there. You will know who held you through the pain and who guided you to this place. What is ahead is designed specifically with you in mind. It won't look like anyone else's breakthrough or miracle because it was never meant to look like theirs. God does not work with one-size-fits-all solutions. He sees every detail of who you are, your personality, your history, your wounds, your hopes, your hidden fears, and He carefully shapes what is coming to match every part of you. What is planned for your life is precise, intentional, and so perfectly suited that when it finally arrives, you won't wonder whether it belongs to you. It will fit your soul, your path, and your calling with such clarity that you will immediately know that this is the answer you've been waiting for. This is how God works. He does not simply prepare a blessing for you, He prepares you for that blessing. Every season of delay, every challenge, every stretch and break has been molding your heart so that when what is meant for you finally comes, you will be ready to hold it. He does this because He doesn't want what He is sending to overwhelm you or confuse you. He wants it to come with peace, with confidence, and with a quiet knowing in your spirit that says, "This is what I was created for." Sometimes the delay exists because what you're waiting for has layers of meaning that aren't visible yet. If it were to come too soon, you might misinterpret it or mishandle it. But when it arrives at just the right moment, you'll see how it not only fulfilled your hopes, but also answered prayers you were too afraid to speak out loud. God does not just respond to what you ask with words, He responds to what your heart aches for, the dreams you buried, the fears you never told anyone. He knows exactly what will settle your spirit and bring direction to your life. When God sends something that is crafted for you, it doesn't just bring surface-level happiness. It brings enduring joy, a sense of belonging, and a deep awareness that God has been listening the entire time. The opportunities He opens will not force you to hide who you are or twist yourself to fit. You won't have to beg for it to stay. You won't have to fight to prove you deserve it. What belongs to you will recognize you just as surely as you will recognize it. Think about clothing sewn specifically for your body. It doesn't just fit. It feels like it was made only for you. That is the difference between what we chase after on our own and what God provides. Many times we run after what seems good because it worked for someone else, but their answer may not suit your life. Their timeline, their assignment, their road is different from yours. This is why comparison is such a trap. It makes you think you're behind when in reality your story is simply unfolding in a way that is unique. Your process is unique because your purpose is unique. It might feel like you are lagging behind when you see others step into opportunities while you are still in a season of waiting, but that doesn't mean you are forgotten. Just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it isn't on the way. The things that are customized for you take time to create. They cannot be rushed. They require precision and care. And even though others may seem to receive their blessing quickly, yours is being shaped in such a way that when it arrives, there will be no doubt that it was always meant for you. You will look back and see that the waiting was not punishment. It was protection. It was God carefully guarding your future so that nothing would be out of place when your moment came. There is something extraordinary about knowing that God never missed a single detail. He saw the silent tears, He heard the secret prayers, He felt the hopes you didn't dare to speak aloud. And when His promise finally shows up, you will see how He remembered all of it. He didn't just answer your request, He gave you what you didn't even know to ask for. That is how intentional He is. And when the blessing arrives, it won't just make you happy. It will validate every season of waiting. It will confirm that you were right to stay faithful. It will prove that He was working all along, even when you couldn't see it. You will be able to stand with tears in your eyes, not just because of what you received, but because of the one who knew you so personally that He created something only you could step into. You won't feel the need to compete or compare anymore. You will walk into rooms, into new opportunities, into relationships, and something deep inside will whisper that this is what you were made for. That kind of peace doesn't come from chasing blessings. It comes from trusting the one writing your story. So if you are still waiting, don't lose heart. What God is shaping for you isn't delayed. It's detailed. It's being formed with the careful hand of a Father who knows you better than you know yourself. It will not look like what anyone else has. And when it finally comes, it will not just change your circumstances. It will heal the parts of you that have been silently longing to be seen, known, and fulfilled. What is on the way is unique to you, and when it arrives, you will recognize the fingerprints of God all over it. Your heart will overflow with gratitude because it will be more than good. It will be perfect. God's timing will display His greatness. It can be hard to hold on to that truth when the days feel endless and the answers seem far away. When you are in the middle of waiting, it can feel as if God has gone silent, as if maybe He forgot about you. But the truth is that God is never late and never too early. He is perfectly on time. And when His time comes, the answer won't just meet your needs. It will reflect His character, His kindness, and His power so clearly that no one else will be able to take the credit. Not you, not your connections, not your efforts, only Him. This is the beauty of divine timing. It removes every doubt about where the blessing came from. It keeps pride out of the picture and puts the glory where it belongs. When the breakthrough happens, you won't be puffed up. You will be on your knees in awe. This is why waiting is powerful. It strips you of self-reliance. It reminds you that you cannot do this in your own strength. And when God shows up, there will be no confusion. You will know that it was Him. You will feel it in your spirit. The only response will be surrender and worship. God is not only working for your benefit, He is working to reveal His glory. Every closed door, every delay, every season of not yet is part of a bigger picture where His name will be honored and His love will be put on display through your life. When He acts, it won't just bless you, it will show others who He is. This is why some prayers take longer to be answered, why some opportunities stay locked until just the right time. God waits until the moment when the impact will be the greatest, when your heart is ready, and when the outcome will point unmistakably back to Him. When the people of Israel stood at the edge of the sea with no way forward and an army chasing them, it looked like the worst possible situation. But that exact moment had been arranged by God so that when He split the waters, everyone knew that this was a move only God could make. It wasn't clever planning or coincidence. It was divine power. In your life, too, God will reveal His timing by creating moments where it is clear that only He could have done it. Right now, there may be doors that seem locked, prayers that feel unanswered, dreams that appear forgotten. You might think you missed your chance, but what if this is not a delay, but a divine setup? What if God is arranging everything so that when the answer comes, every doubt will be silenced, every fear will bow, and everyone watching will know that He is still in control? His glory is revealed not only in the result, but in how He brings it about, how He turns your pain into peace, how He provides in the most unexpected way, how He repairs what you thought was too broken to fix. And when that moment comes, you will know it wasn't your effort that made it happen. You didn't manipulate it into being. You trusted, you waited, and God moved. And when He does, it will bring you to tears, tears not of despair, but of gratitude and worship. You will remember the nights you nearly gave up, the moments you doubted, the prayers that seemed unanswered, and you will see how God was weaving it all together. You will see that He was never absent, never ignoring you, never indifferent. His love was working even when you couldn't see it. That kind of realization changes you forever. It's not just about receiving something. It's about encountering God Himself, knowing His faithfulness and love in a way that humbles you and fills you with awe. You will know that you didn't earn it or deserve it, but that God, in mercy, gave it anyway, and that knowledge will leave you overwhelmed with gratitude. This is what makes God's timing so glorious. It is never careless, never wasted. Every moment of waiting is full of meaning. And when the appointed time comes, it will be so undeniable, so clearly orchestrated by Him, that it will take your breath away. It will not only be the right answer, it will be a revelation of who God is. You will witness His power, feel His love, and see His sovereignty at work before your very eyes. So if you are waiting right now, hold on. The quiet season is not the end. The stillness is not rejection. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is God waiting for the perfect moment to reveal His goodness through your story. And when it comes, you will not need to chase after it or force it to happen. You will simply lift your hands with tears streaming down your face and whisper, "Only God could have done